We're very pleased to release the trainer area within the ISCP site. The intention of this is to improve the quality of training, and what we're doing in this video is showing you how it works, what you can get out of it, and how it will improve the quality of training, and in doing that help you show that you meet the requirements of the GMC for recognition as a trainer. If you go to the home page of the ISCP, you will see the Trainer Area tab. Having clicked that, it opens up onto the welcome page for the trainer portfolio. And the way we have done this is to take the Academy of Medical Educators standards for trainers, which the GMC used in their recognition requirements, and to translate them into a more surgical and practical way of collecting evidence. We're very grateful to the Faculty of Surgical Trainers of the Royal College of Surgeons of Edinburgh for doing this, and in particular Craig McElhenney and David Pitts, who did a lot of this work. You will see in this page that there is a description of the contents of the portfolio. And as you scroll down the page, you will see this dashboard. This collects automatically the evidence that you enter into the portfolio and presents it in a grid which is coded to show those areas where you have included evidence and those where you have not. As you'll see, as you hover over the various framework areas, it tells you what they are, and as you hover over the individual cells within the grid, it tells you again what the specific area of evidence is. This grid makes no judgment on the quality of that evidence or whether you are a good or a bad trainer. It simply records the fact that evidence has been collected. The green areas represent the effective trainer, the orange areas the excellent trainer, and the educational supervisor requirements. The grey areas are not applicable. The timescale defaults to the last 5 years in keeping with appraisal schedules, but it can be possible to change these dates should you wish to create different summaries. Moving on to the first area of evidence collection, this is the trainer profile. This is automatically captured from your profile within the main ISCP site, and this link here allows you to update that. You may upload a photograph if you wish, and your role is shown from the main ISCP site, which can be updated in the My Roles section. You need to choose whether you are a clinical supervisor or an educational supervisor and clinical supervisor. If you are only an educational supervisor, you should select this option here. One of the aims of this site is to allow trainees to actually see what you can offer in your training. And this section here allows you to set the permissions for who can see your profile. This can be a private profile only, where only you can see it. You may open it up to any registered ISCP user. You can choose a user by typing in a name, and then you can see that you have chosen the name there. This next section allows you to enter the general aspects in which you can train. And there is a guide here which gives you examples as to what you may include in that section. Moving on, we have included the generic professional capabilities. These are required of all trainees by the GMC under their new standards for curricula. And the reason we've included them here is to increase familiarity in what they contain. This link takes you to the GMC site, which gives you details, and there are more descriptors through that link. The question mark symbols show exactly what the domains within generic professional capabilities are. And this site allows you to enter some free text into how you can train professional values and behaviours, professional skills, professional knowledge, and so on. And if you feel that you are able to train in these areas, then click the tick box or unclick it if you feel you are unable to train in those areas. There is no requirement to enter text into these boxes. There is no requirement to tick the boxes. But if you are able to, it will help you reflect on what you can offer in these areas as an example of how this site can improve training. You can then enter other training roles and positions that you have, either formally or informally. And there is then a self-certification area, which allows you to indicate which of the framework and standard areas in the grid we showed earlier you feel that you meet. And if you feel you meet these, simply tick the box, and that will automatically translate into the grid showing that there is some evidence in that area. Moving on, the next area is the assessment summaries. This automatically downloads from the ISCP in real time all of the workplace-based assessments that you have completed. Again, it defaults to the last 5 years in keeping with the appraisal revalidation cycle, and it's possible to select which level of training you wish to filter to. By default, it includes all levels from CT1 or ST1 up to ST8. The assessment summary is in 4 pages, and this first page shows the assessments carried out by month, by year, and by type of assessment. Moving to the second page, we have a table showing the type of assessment and the numbers that have been carried out. The average validation time is an indicator of your involvement with the ISCP, and the shorter time it takes to validate, then we feel the greater your involvement is in training. Similarly, you can see your own average feedback length in words, and you can compare this to your peers across the whole trainer population with the various quartiles shown here. And this, we feel, is an indicator of your engagement with the trainee in the length of feedback that you give. The third page again shows the types of WBA and how many you have awarded at which performance level by training grade. This gives an indication of whether you are recognizing progression in your population of trainees as they move from year 1 up to year 8. The fourth page shows more detail on the length of time to validate, because we recognize that validation is both a function of delay by the trainee and delay by yourself. And it shows where that delay has come from, whether it's from submission to validation or from the actual performance of the WBA to submission. It's possible from this area of the site to download all of this information in various file types that you can then use in your appraisal document. Moving on, the next area is reflective notes. The intention here is to allow you to complete the grid on the first page of this site to obtain evidence in each of the framework areas and standards, because there will be some areas that are not automatically filled from what you already do within the ISCP. To help with this, we've created a list of suitable topics which shows what you might reflect on for each of the framework areas. If there is a framework area where you feel you are light on evidence, you can look at this and decide what you may choose to reflect on. When it comes to adding a new reflective note, you can enter the date, the title, and some detail. You can choose which of the framework areas and standards it applies to, and then save that, and it will appear in your reflective note area, and these framework areas will now be shown as having evidence in them on that grid on the first page. Similarly, the document library allows you to upload evidence for the various types of information that you include within your portfolio. To upload a document, you simply choose the file you would like to upload, give it a title and some details about it as a summary, and then choose the, again, standard and framework area which it relates to. Save it, and it will appear in your document library, and again these framework areas will be populated as showing evidence is present. The next areas of the evidence collection relate to trainee and trainer questionnaires in keeping with the multi-source feedback that trainees use within the ISCP. We feel these are important to gain valuable feedback from the trainees you train and from your peer trainers. If you open the Trainee Questionnaire area, after giving some explanation about it, you are able to choose trainees to send a request to complete a questionnaire to. There is a link here which will show you the actual questions which the trainee will be asked to answer. To choose a trainee, simply type in a name, and if you hit save, that trainee will then receive an email asking them to complete a questionnaire about your performance as a trainer. The information that the trainee gives will be confidential. You will not be able to trace any questions back to an individual trainee. No results will be shown from these questionnaires until at least 5 trainees have answered them. And you'll then see a consolidated report. And here is a mock consolidated report showing the questions with a pop-up which shows the positive and negative behavior indicators and the number of trainees who answered always or usually, or any of the other indicators as relevant to the question. And this gives valuable feedback on what your trainees feel you are doing as a trainer. The free text comments that they can enter are shown in a list again in keeping with the multi-source feedback that the trainees complete. Moving on to the Trainee Questionnaire, this works in exactly the same way. Trainers can be selected and asked to complete a questionnaire, and again a summary report is given showing the questions, the answers and the free text comments. Seeing these feedback questionnaires would be a valuable area for reflection on how you train, and they could be entered as reflections in your reflective notes. Not available right now, but soon we will have the ability to create a PDF output of your entire portfolio that you will be able to easily upload into your own hospital's appraisal system as evidence that you are meeting the requirements of the GMC as a trainer. If you have any questions about the site, please feel free to contact the ISCP help desk, and any comments that you have on how it may be improved will be very welcome. Thank you.